Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Resolution, and today we are trying out another game in the March of 2024's Humble Bundle, which is Citizen Sleeper, another story-based game where you're something, you're a human, you're a human type something on a space station. But let's just try this out. Citizen Sleeper 2 announced apparently. Let's start with a new game, an empty slot, and a character class. So we can choose to be one of the many character classes in here. Looks like this is an operator, works with drones and high precision remote machines. So this is very much a tabletop RPG game, digitized essentially. It's interesting enough. I wonder whether it's more like cyberpunk. I always go back and compare things to cyberpunk because, you know, that's another futuristic tabletop RPG turn video game. Extractor works on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to Extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have high level of endurance. Oh, okay. Sunbathe allows energy recovery at home. So this has chance to gain cryo on interface actions, whatever that means. Cerebral precise people. What else? We have machinists. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Efficient extractor, chance to gain random scrap items on engineer actions. Okay. Well, we're just going to take the machinist because why not, right? Looks like we get +1 as an engineer to work on machines and physical tools, and a -1 to approach a problem head on. Let's try it out. I have no idea what to expect, so let's just give this a shot. Now, this is still available on the March of 2024's Humble Bundle, so get it while you're able. There are a few AAA games in this month's Humble Bundle. So one of them is Saints Row, the new Saints Row. So give it a shot, try it out. Let's see, where are we? Where are you? Unknown. The first thing you become aware of on walking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when your self has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Do we think of that body? Let's think of that body. A leap in a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of the fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dull nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of your container feel immediately present, cold hard at the back and face, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least, so it looks like we're in some sort of capsule. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Do we remember the plan or remember the others? Let's try and remember the plan. Let's focus on something. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into the containers, then just hope the freighter left before you are missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Do we try to rest or wait for the cold? It doesn't really matter, does it? Wait for the cold. That's all there is now. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of the damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility beginning to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. So it looks like we are no longer a person. Let's rest. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound too. Everywhere. Screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its senses. Then light. White as the cold. Softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. We are out. Look at... What do we do? Oh. 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 Oh, wow. Okay. So that looks like some sort of residential area. I say city building block type thing. This is some sort of light. That's some smaller light. That's a ship, isn't it? I don't know what this is. Where are we? Dragos. Pragmatic salvager. Dragos. A pragmatic and private salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in the corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular incoherent lumps of ship, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along the edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes, with fogged eyes you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you all thought yet? Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to the hull plate, so inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. Well, what happened to them? He ignores your question. I want to ask what led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You're not alone. You remember biometrically signing the forms. The cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you now get the familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S&R wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. You remember that too, or at least the rumors of it from other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind? How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yacht. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the shacks. We haven't been pulling in as much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion fatigue? Emotion fatigue? You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the wrecks, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes, silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. So, welcome to Erland's Eye. Okay, so that's the name of the station, I'm guessing. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Okay, continue. So I'm guessing that's the empty container. Oh, can we zoom in? Not quite. Not quite. But we can turn, we can rotate a little bit. Oh. So, empty container, our home for now. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. End cycle. Looks like we're resting for a bit. Wakey wakey, eggs and bakey. You wake up, curled up in the corner of the container, and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake up in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? We've escaped. Let's build a new life. We've got a fresh start. Maybe you did get lucky. Finding yourself here, maybe here on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you need to learn how to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachet smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from the restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best as you can, and you try to gather enough energy to greet the day. What do we do? Okay, tutorial. Condition, action dice, and energy. Condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. Okay. So that's essentially your energy, or how well your health bar. You have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you can no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolls based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Okay. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further action and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. Oh! If it becomes empty, you'll be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double rate per cycle. Right, that's no good. So, what do we do now? We've got no items, we've got no currency. Let's leave. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset. In the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it's implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly rising. How are you feeling? The drone chirps. Good to hear you. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. So he pauses. So I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You old enough to work? Work? Or sure? Sure. Alright then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulks down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor, and obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls a handful of small metal bars, air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we used to trade out here. Air-walled cryo. He stuffs them back in the pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well... But things being the way they are for me at the yard, he pauses, I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Okay. So looks like that's the yard. That's the low end, whatever the low end means. And that's all we've got at this point in time. So let's head down to the yard. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world, citizen. To perform an action, click and drag the chosen action dice to the slot. Okay. Even the rust is high valuable components. Extracting means carefully. Okay. So we got +1 for that. Input dice. Action dice. 100% chance positive. 50% chance. 25% chance. Okay. Action goes better than expected. That's positive. Action succeeds. Action fails. Lovely. Continue. Type. Either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Either safe, risky, or danger. Yep. No loss to condition. Negative outcomes means cryo or energy loss. Condition loss or energy loss. Right. So that needs to be positive. That needs to be 100% positive. So anything danger needs to be 100% positive by the looks of it. Skill. The skill this action requires. Either a skill engineer. Where's that? Endure. Intuit or engage. Modifier. Either +1, +0, +2. Okay. So that's based on our class. Lovely. So that's a repeatable action. That's back in business. Every salvager knows where that they're always one lucky haul away from the next paywall. So that's repeatable. So that gives us a +1, and it's risky. So let's maybe place a 50% there. Oh, 100% positive. Do we want to do 2? Oh no, these are both okay. Let's maybe do 2. Let's do 1. Oh. Oh no, we can only choose 1. Okay, let's choose 1. Let's choose hull dissection. It's an engineering thing. Might as well do it. Working. Hey, back in business +2. Action often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions, and fill them out. They track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something, good or bad. It's about to happen. Some clocks, like the ones such as the ones tracking, drag us to death, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle, and you can complete without player input. Any active clocks will be displayed. Okay. I don't understand that at all, but we've got 15 cryo there, which is nice. And what's that? Scrap components. Do we do multiple? Let's try this again. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself in the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access the drive menu via the arrow button at the top of the screen. What? Oh, there's so much to learn, right? Okay. Tracking a drive helps you survive, look for food to keep you energy and a way to recover condition, fill clocks to progress stories, remember the end cycle in your home when you're out of dice. Use the mouse wheel to scroll along the station, rotate A and D. Good luck. Lovely, we got more cry, we got 2 back in business. And that's it. Find a doctor. We need to find a doctor. Looks like we need to survive. How do we find a doctor? Leave. Oh. Okay. Oh wow, okay. They're things now. They're things. Oh, too far. Like, what's this? Shipyard? That's where we were working on. That's a wet dock. Rotunda. Bright Market. I guess we go to... Wait, let's try Bright Market first. What's this? Let's close this. That's a -1. Ask for directions. Or do we want to... What does this do? Local knowledge. No, let's not do that for the time being. We need to find a doctor, right? Salvage sortie. Take several cycles to reach the starboard belt and return loaded with scraps of all wreck. Oops. So maybe not that. We do need to find a doctor though. Helion Crossing. Oh, okay, so those are 2 different docks. The Rotunda. Steel dock plans. Probably not that. Old dock field passageways and concourse leading to all kinds. Okay. Maybe not either of these. We do need to find a doctor. How do we do that? Risky. Connections, shipbuilder, hull materials. Okay. Right, let's first maybe head back to the Rotunda. Oh, sorry, the Bright Market. Lowen Gate, what's this? Hey, Lowen, no, thank you. I don't have that sort of cash. Let's go to the market and maybe we need to ask for directions or explore the market. Either of these gives us local knowledge, but that's risky. So let's maybe do that. There's a 25% positive. Let's try out 50% neutral. Oh, +2 to local knowledge. Can we do it again? 50% neutral, 50. That's a 50-50. That's a 50-50. Let's try out. Hey, local knowledge. We can find everything here. So what happens now? Do we... Oh! Slum Doctor. There we go. Okay. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards an open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that the doctor was operating out this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer at the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hat block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve, but your options are few, and without supply of stabilizer in this body, your body, well. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find yourself something to do, something to distract yourself. Oh my god. Let's maybe look at the enforcer. The enforcer's looking down the corridor and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense, input, or aesthetic markers. You aren't sure. But you also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway. You catch the distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market steel roof and buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Oh, that's a young doctor. Come sit, calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turn away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do see an impression of confusion flash across their features, they open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit. They gesture towards the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? They ask the scanner, still to their eye. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying? Your body is dying, they say. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNRP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose, to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when they're not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNRP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? How do you know this? They shift in their seat. You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered. You wait for more, but they go back on their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch, or the metal, or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of the arm. And SNRP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. Then they turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes. You hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take up profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the Starwood Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just say if this works, first, I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out and moving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can still see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. We found a doctor, so now we need to wait for her to give us stabilizer. Let's see whether we can get food. Emphasis busy, his broad face uplift by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetable in some red-flecked dressing. The smell's incredible. I love the art style. The art style gets me. There's so much to look at. There's so many different elements to the character, but yet it's so simple. It's clean. Look at that, the water bottles, the markings, the tattoos, the scratches, the eye, the expression. There's just so much. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in the plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvages, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Amphis speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try's free. Thank you. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Amphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. You begin to tell him about your journeys to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold, dark container and the endless cycle spin within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more. He smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and shuts it off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the walk. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. This guy's... You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste senses light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Alright, we got some food. Hey, we've got another drive. We need to repay Dagos. We've got 30 creds or 30 chits, whatever that is. Get to know Empits. We can do that. Amphis likes two things, stories and food, so that we need to eat at his stall. Build a ship mine. You've heard talk of fabricator owner the Ort Exchange. And with that, a few fragments of what you can build a ship mine core. Okay, where's the Ort fabricator? The Ort Exchange. What's the Ort Exchange? Oops. So we can play the exchange. The flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. Or we can sell components. Okay. So this is where we come to sell components. How much do we get from this? No clue. But let's leave for now. We do need to repay Dragos. Wherever he is. Not there, not the Rotunda. And Dragos' yard? We've seen the shipyard barely, briefly. Let's go back to the yard. It's Dragos here. No, but back in business is close. We're close with the back in business stuff. How do we repay Dragos? Let's see. Repay Dragos. Help pay off Dragos' debt. So that's this thing here. Debt call in. Alright. We can't do that, can we? No, we can't. Let's leave for now. Maybe we actually sell the components. Maybe we actually sell the components, or do we keep it? We keep it. Let's keep it for one day. Let's keep it for one day. Let's end the cycle. Rest and repair. Okay, so far so good. It's a nice, tight little RPG. Not a lot of locations. Maybe some more locations will appear in the future. Oh, this time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station. That shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves. Threads tugging at the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange, and then extensions, as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of disturbed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station. Like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Do we touch it? Do we observe it? Let's touch it. You find a point in the station, you connect it, pulse through it. Follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you, inconsistently as if you were a small child. Somehow it's pulling you in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. The stations played across your mind, a storm of connective nodes, waiting to be explored and then gone. Oh. So that didn't give us anything? No, but we do only have 3 dice now. That is no good. That is genuinely poor. That is genuinely pretty poor. Alright, let's go to the dockyard. Let's maybe do some hull dissection again. We've got 2 crits potentially. So let's do that. Maybe we can do the debt called in. Let's do 2 riskies. +1 to black in business and +15 cryo. Let's do 2 riskies. Let's go. Nice. We're 1 off. We are legitimately 1 off. Can we actually do this? 50% neutral, 50% negative. Let's give this a shot. We've got nothing to lose. We've got everything to lose, to be honest. Back in business, plus cryo. We're done. We're back in business. Hey, hey, hey. What does that mean? Have we paid off Drago's debt? What do we do with this? What do we do with this? I guess we leave. Do we want more food? Let's get some food. We're down 2. Let's get some food. Oh, order fungus 15. We've got 75. I guess we can use some. Let's use 15 there and start action. Let's order some fungus. Hey, we got fungus fan. What's a fungus fan? Doesn't matter. We've lost some cryo, but we've... Oh, Emphasis doesn't trust people easily, but he notices regular customers in his own quiet way. Ah, okay, lovely. I like that. I like that a lot. Is there anything to do with doctors? No. That's just gotta wait. That's just gotta wait. Doc B has nothing going on, so we'll leave that alone, and we've just got to repay the debt. Oh, Dragos. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape, suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures spilling from holes in a twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it's lowered to the yard. What is it? That, my friend, is an A-grade scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather some enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what has become of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern. He shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm going to need some help with this one. The drone started to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of the S&R freighter lowered into a yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about the ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship, emblazoned on the side. Winter Light. Let's do it! This almost sounds like hard space shipbreaker, to be honest. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting it, and then slip out of the yard, suddenly feeling cold in the empty passage. Looks like that's good. We've got one upgrade point, whatever that means. +1 drive. You've completed your first drive. Each drive complete unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character menu via the arrow. Okay. Continue. Let's have a look at what upgrade. Whoa, boy. Oh boy. There's a few things. Okay, so 1 upgrade point, 2 upgrade points gives us stuff, and 3 points gives us +2. Okay, more stuff, more rewards. Lovely. Lovely. Okay, so let's maybe, we've got +1 already in engineering. We've got -1 interface. No, we've got -1 in engage. Do we want to bring that up into a... No, let's leave it as it is. Right, let's leave it as it is. Let's maybe... Oh, photosynthetic skin. That's nice. Huh. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. Or intuition. Oh, we can probably run some intuition. That's luck. That's pure luck. Let's get some luck. I like luck. Confirm. We got no more upgrade points, but I would love to get another +1 on intuition. Would absolutely love another +1. Is that us? I think that's us. We're the engineer. Alright. So we've got 1 point. Let's go back to the empty container and end cycle. We've only got 3 dice left, so we need to find a way to increase our number of dice. Or to do more work. Again, the skeletal ringing of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like it stays reflected in the winter lake. It's clearer, crispier than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of simmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There's so many layers, so many loops that seem almost impossible to pass, but you begin to try. Let's focus on the threads. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively chose the word thread when you first saw them. They are not as single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzles and boxes, one leads to another. There is so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see opportunity. But in that insistent tugging again, pulling at you, you look down again and see 2 lines, 2 threads pulling you in different directions as if you were tied around them. The first thread leads out, away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in the ship and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. You open your eyes. Time is short. Okay. Something has changed inside you. You can now access Data Cloud the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are all estranged. Click the I button at the top of the screen. Okay. Let's have a look. Wow. Wow, okay. What's Havenage Agent? A Havenage member is broadcasting the open network from here, leaving them open for data extraction. Data actions allow you to extract data from networks of the eye. They work like dice action, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. If you have a +1/+2 modifier in the interface skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice. Okay. So I do have a 2. Let's use that. Bypass. Did that work? Extract data. Heaven-edge data. Neutral outcome. Okay. Let's leave that alone for now. And close our eye. We have no idea what's going on there. We've got one more cycle till that happens. So maybe we go and do... Oh, winter light. Oh, that has history. Oh, forensic trawl. Or cutter salvage. Yard clearance. Break it down and move on. I would love to do this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'll love to do this. Okay. Oh, we can do yard clearance. But... Oh, this gives us yard clearance anyways, but it doesn't give us cryo. We've got 60 cryo. Maybe we do... Oh, that's danger. Okay. Hang on. This is danger. Let's maybe do this first. 50% action. Let's try that. +1 yard clearance. Oh, that's a negative action. Why don't we do a positive here? Let's do that. And 16 cryo. Done. Maybe we do as much of this as possible, then we continue trying to do that. I think that's the best course of action. Let's leave that. Maybe we gotta try... We've got to go to the Ort Exchange and maybe sell them one of these. Lovely. Trusted trader. There we go. We can play the components, but that's risky. We don't have any more dice. Yeah, we don't have any more dice, so let's leave that behind. Do we want more food? We've got some money for it. We've got 88 money. We've got -2 to hunger. Let's just buy a bit more. Start action. Buy a bit more fungus fans and... Yep, that goes up. We've got energy. Let's leave. Nice. This is fun. This is a fun little... It almost reminds me of some of the RPGs that you could play on Newgrounds back in the day. Oh, that's new. End cycle. I feel like we need more dice though. We definitely need more dice. Okay. Let's leave. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Let's turn. Fing is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was that? What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We? You pass together into the main walkway. Heaven-edge. We are all one dysfunctional family. Feng puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch though. Don't worry. I'm with systems. Heaven-edge? Think of us as an administrative association for the eye. Depending on who you talk to, we either emerge as a response to or a continuation of Endre Erlin's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid the topic. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity and, well, I know a little bit about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back. His voice brightened, his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passageway, raising a hand in farewell. Nice. Okay. So it looks like the doctor is back in town. Let's go see the doctor first. First thing you see on entering is a glint of Toshiro's implants, like cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark as you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them. A set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how yet again they trailed off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea what it really is. I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture you to sit in the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting unfamiliar parts of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Passcodes? In very basic terms, yes, they sigh. Look, what matters here is that the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least, if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin radiating the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. Okay, let's do it. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract the fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection but with little response. Oh, a sensation begins to spread from the site. A fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white. And when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater. Prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of the slate. Awake? What happened? The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how yet again acquired a case of this stuff, but they did it. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more. But you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Okay. Oh, we're back to full. Look at that. That's nice. Alright, looks like we need to work a lot more for our key. So let's try... We'll do more winter light. Let's do a 1. 50%. What can go wrong? Nice, winter light. Let's do 25% positive. Nice, okay. And let's do a third one. Okay, so it doesn't pay me, but I've got some in savings and I've got one more component I can sell. We've only got 3 winter light, none of them critical, unfortunately. Well, what's this? Oh, build a ship mine. That's right, we need to build a ship mine as well. I should have used the 1 on the node, but that's okay. Let's maybe end the cycle. Oh no, wait, we need food. We need food. Forgot about food. Fungus fan. Okay, let's get some. Another 15. Let's start the action. Nice. Okay. But that dose gave me basically full. I can bring myself down to 3 and then buy a dose every single time. I think that's the best way to do this. Let's end the cycle. Someone's hunting me, so we got... It looks like we need to get something done before they start. Well, before they arrive, to be honest. Nice! We've got full thingos. Let's close that for the time being. Oh, what's this? Thing. Huh. Alright, let's maybe close our eyes and see whether we can get... Oh, let's actually talk to Feng first. Sleeper. Feng catches your attention as you approach the Havenish building, leaning against the bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come this way. Security and all that. He gives you a look. You know? He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans on the server rack and gestures around you. You like it? It's incredible. He smiles widely. I thought you'd say that. He taps a nearby server stack which beeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, A1. The one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we've never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up the Eye and think they're seeing a concrete reality, but this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks, and you follow. We're keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance up to the lights around you and you do. And as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Feng notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run though. They are tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place, subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets, a shitload of secrets. With your help I can unlock this place, break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers into his voice below the hum. Even in Heavenage there is old growth, those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the parts and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Slipper? I'm in. Feng pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use those emulated minds of yours and see what's out there. Get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisition budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. Oh, that's useful. He slams the door again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. You step blinking back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Okay, so we've got a new drive now, which is to extract the past. So it looks like we can do that by doing this. So our Heavenish members broadcasting the open network, leaving them open to data extraction. Okay. So we can get data there, or we got a key node. A lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. We don't have a 1, so I'm not going to try. Is there anything else? There's a 2 here. The data here is part of a cache, tucked away during the collapse. Who hid this and for what purpose? We've got 2, so let's try that. Let's bypass that. Have we bypassed it? I guess we have. We've got 1 encrypted key. Whatever that means. As you drift back from the node, something latches on. A thread. A strung tight around you, tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. Stay still. Please, hold. The thread among you thickens until it's a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circle around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on its lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identity, identify, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Do we tell it? Sleeper, acid, unknown, known. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature, off and not off. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin spiraling from its head, thick snaking vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach you with intent. Stop! The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We can only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect, you are an entity. All at once, your hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of the taste, the one from the sealed door. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focused spike of interference, leaping out like a tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Oh, we've done something, but we found some data. We have found some data. I like it. But we need money. We also need money, so we need to go to Dragos' yard. Oh, he's okay. He's scared. Can we get anything else done? We need to disable our tracker and get to know Enfys. We've still got money for food, which is good. Which is real good. Let's maybe try to get some criticals on this. I think we might be able to... Actually, you know what? We might be able to get this completely done. If we get criticals, a +2 on this would be amazing. Okay, can we get another critical? A 50% positive. Sorry, a positive. Can we get positive? That's a +1. Can we get another one? 25% positive this time. Oh, look at that. We got scrap items as well we can sell. Nice. We've completed Winter Light. So that's complete. Can we now... No, that's locked out. Oh no. That's completely locked out. Well, where's build a Winter Light? Study Winter Light. Toggle tracking. Continue. Oh. Squeezed into the office at the entrance of the yard, you lay out everything you have on the Winter Light across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensic notes glow in Dragos' old writing slate, overlapping lines and scroll annotations. A set of drones scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled printout from the office's ship's registry lies beside them. Synthetic paper so thin it's almost transparent. Let's look at the monitor first. Reactor failure. That is the verdict that anyone will have returned after a cursory glance of these stacked heat maps of the remains of the Winter Light. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in sections, blotches of color marking the appropriate damage of the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story, a catastrophic failure of a drive core leading to a fatal hull breach, a well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear of the misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor, you're looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is a thumbprint size and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main and external airlock. It suggests a controlled shape explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You are looking at it because it is troubling you. Let's look at the slate. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the Winter Light before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified, parts replaced with inventive configurations. The new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy. A lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, but the corners rounded to disguise the change. But they are there. Let's look at the printout. A plain list shows the registration history of the Winter Light. The gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on the station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The Winter Light got little rest. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry, a suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the Winter Light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It's a little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main system was fried, of course, but the Winter Light had a separate system, one tucked away in its hidden compartment, armored, air-walled. This list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Shipmine ROMs, shimmer, cryochain codes, and then the final entry, passenger, sleeper. You stare at the list on the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here in the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had the sleeper been smarter, luckier? How had it convinced the Winter Light, a smuggler's ship if you've ever saw one, to extract them from SNR? Lucky you. Luckier, you laugh. There have been no remains found in any of the Winter Light compartment. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you find in their compartment. A parting gift from SNR. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it in your back pocket. Oh, we've got stabilizer. Great. The thought still bothers you though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard. 2, one after the other. That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between data sheets on the terminal, thinking, and you see that thumbprint again, the mark of someone trying to enter. Someone who entered the Winter Light with precision and speed, and where they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly the office door creaks open. Drago stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you've assembled. What's all this? He snatches the slate up from the desk, faster than you realize he could move. You running an investigation here? What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing through his implants. Where's this ship from? Leave this alone. He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself. This is the last thing I need. This ship had a sleeper on it. Dragos freezes, suddenly angry. What did you say? He pushes past you to look at the terminal. At the list. He shakes his head. So what? Aren't all of you trying to escape? You're lucky it was you that made it out alive. Not them. He folds his arm indignantly. Dragos seems to steady himself and then turns back to you. The heat map of the reactor, fairly reflected in his headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty of others who would have sold you on, turned you in, but not me. I know. I appreciate that, but don't. Shakes his head. I'm not discussing my business with you. He quiets the drone. I've done well by now, and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this obsession you have with this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you're after. You can't work here anymore. What about Winter's Light? I need to know. What about Winter's Light? He reaches over and switches the monitor off. Forget about the damn ship. You have enough to keep you up. Dragos reaches across and flicks off the terminal. As the lights of the monitor dies with a kind of eerie calm falls upon both of you. Whatever this was, it is done. You've made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. What if they come for me? That will aggravate him more, but that will come. That I'm concerned. Then you run. You don't come here. You don't scream. You don't shout. You run. In the dark, Drago's headset glints, and you wish for a moment you could see his eyes. To meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get from the desk and Drago gathers the notes, stuffing them into the pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you. His head as expressionless as always. You can stay in that container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office and then back out into the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing your vial in your pocket, knowing that this, at least, guarantees you a little more time. That sucks! As you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the Winter Light, and whether or not that person will come for you. Oh no! Oh no! We got an achievement though, but oh boy! Oh, there's a scrap freight here, that's new. Let's go see the scrap freight. Oh, we can help. To get cryo, nice. They'll pay wage to anyone who will help them. Okay. Or buy some scrap. Well, that's danger, right? That's a possible danger. But we don't have much work. We do, however, have Things Bay. We can deliver data. We've got some data, I'm pretty sure. We've got data and a cache of raw. We can't put that there, but we've got Solheim cipher, and we've got an encrypted key. Wait, is that data? That's not data. That's not data either. Oh, that sucks. Can we do anything else? That's been cleared off. There's a gate there. We need some sort of... the correct cipher. Do we have a cipher? No, we don't have a Heavenish cipher. Okay. Can we get a cipher? Maybe that one? Okay, I do have a cipher. The gate conceals a network of systems which have been untouched since the Solheim collapse. Start. Okay, we got gate S7 access. With a squawk of noise, the old gate flips open, granting you access. Okay, we've got the gate. We've got more access notes than we care. There's a Yatagan agent there, a Heavenish agent, and another Heavenish agent here. So that one needs protocols. Alright, so the rest of these kind of needs protocols. So looks like we're gonna be data mining for a while. Oh, that one we can do. Bypass. Extract data. We've got one Solheim data. Okay. I wonder whether we can sell that now. But that's kind of done. We have no more that we can access. We've got an encrypted key, whatever that does. Like, that doesn't fit. There's a keynote here. Can I fit that in there? Nope. There's a Yatagan agent. Okay, so these are very low numbers. So if I have low numbers, I'll come here. But for now, I've got some data. Can I sell them now? You want some Solheim data. I think we'll pay you well for any Solheim data. Let's sell that. Lovely. We got 15 cryo. And we got scoping the systems 1. I think the 15 cryo is just good enough to get some food at the stall. Let's do that. We've got 73. Let's get that. We got some food. Nice, some energy, fungus fan. And look, we're a regular now. We are a regular. Sleeper. Amphis calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws a handful of chopped mushrooms into his wok, the fire leaping up to meet his oil. I see you. Cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. What kind? Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle onto the wok. But one of yours. He looks up at you. Nothing stolen. You pause, the spices rich in your nostrils, and you think about the kind of story you'd like to tell Amphis. You look at Amphis, the listener, and imagine he has heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story. Something with some spice. Let's tell him about our dreams. All the sleepers, you tell Emphis, has dreams. Some were simple, memories left over from the emulation process that become tangled up in their minds and would come out when they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorm scream or cry out at night. But your dreams, those grey skeletal after images of systems and structures, of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares. They were reflections of reality, distorted, yes, but somehow true. You learned back then to keep quiet about them, to let them flow through your mind like water. That was until now, until you arrived at this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They slip behind your eyelids with every blink, and now you understand they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, of speaking, of living in another world that flows through like this one of smoke and air. You tell him that you do not know if there is a reason for your dreams. Perhaps a reason it is just some side effect, or a particular quality of the frame you inhabit. But whatever it is, it's a gift and you hope to make use of it. Emphis finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper, he smiles. You are quite the storyteller. He eyes you and realizes that he is trying to gauge how honest you have been in your story. Emphis passes you the meal he has cooked, and you take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks, a natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around at the emptying market. But my time is done for today. I do not want to keep you any longer, so I will make a proposal. He gestures to the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked behind his stall. These are good enough for most, but someone told me a story that made me think a couple cycles ago. They said that across the gap in the Greenway, fresh mushroom grows. Have you heard this? No. Neither had I, but I trust the one who told me. Emphis begins packing up some of his things. Can you bring me some? I cannot cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind. He smiles. I am sure a storyteller like you could handle the trip. I will prepare them for you, and if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. Agreed. Good, boomed Emphis. Then I will wait for you to bring them. Emphis slides his walk away and straightens up. I will prepare a recipe then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. So he carries his walk around with him. You turn away and walk back to the main market, the rich taste of Emphis's food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food, and you think a trade seems fair, more than fair. So I think we got some extra free food there, but I have no idea what this gap he is talking about is. Could it be this? Is that the gap? Who knows? But it looks like, ooh, upgrades available. Heck yeah. Let's maybe try and take... It's a pity we can't use engineer anymore. I would love to use more engineer, but let's maybe take that. +1 to intuition. Confirm. And then 2 upgrade points gets us instant karma next time. So let's do that next time. But unfortunately, that's all the time I've got for today. Thank you so much everyone for watching. My name is R35olution. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you saw and want to see more. Once again, the name of the game is Citizen Sleeper. It's a fun role-playing tabletop RPG brought to life in digital form. Give it a try. Currently it's still available on the March Humble Bundle of 2024. Just give it a try. If you're a fan of tabletop RPGs, you're a fan of cyberpunk, if you're a fan to see where it goes, where this goes, you know, try the game out for yourselves. You might have different choices. You might still be able to work at a shipyard as an engineer, because I very well can't, and I don't think I can work anywhere else. Look at that. Endure, cryo. Nope, nothing. But yeah, give this game a shot. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My name is R35olution. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.